Medidas cautelares exclusively on Iker Jimenez's show, Horizonte, revealing the exclusive story about the derailment of a train in Irún. Let's get started. Hello everyone and welcome to a new special edition, a very special one. Medidas cautelares, because thanks to you, thanks to your support, Medidas cautelares have made it to television, And I have to make a double announcement, because yesterday I was on Iker Jimenez's show via video call on Horizonte, together with Carmen Porter as well. Thank you very much to both of them for giving us this opportunity to share news, to share exclusive news, just like we do on Medidas Cautelares. And precisely, we were referring to an exclusive story we published about the derailment of a train in Irún that was carrying hazardous materials. Yeah, that's one of the announcements I have to make to you. I have the video in which we appear live with Iker Jimenez and Carmen Porter on Horizonte. But I also have to make a second television announcement, which I'm also very excited about. I've also started collaborating with the Telemadrid show hosted by Carlos Cuesta, which airs from Monday to Friday from 5:30 to 6:30. Many thanks to Carlos Cuesta for his trust, for giving me this opportunity on Telemadrid. And well, for now, I think I'll be there on Mondays and Wednesdays, okay? It's not certain, but that's being considered. And honestly, it's a double announcement that makes me really happy to be able to tell you about it, to share it with you, because your support in the end has finally made the TV stations call us to share our exclusive news, which you always get firsthand here in Medidas Cautelares. And now we're going to move on to talk about that information, the information we published exclusively, and that, as I said, deserved the attention. From the program Horizonte by Iker Jimenez and Carmen Porter. And precisely what we're going to do is revisit my intervention on Medidas Cautelares on the program Horizonte by Iker Jimenez. There I give you an explanation about the exclusive report on that train derailment in Irún that was carrying dangerous goods. And after this video on Iker Jimenez's program, we provide more information about that train that derailed and was carrying those dangerous substances. Let's first watch my appearance on Iker Jimenez's program.
Carmen, do we have Miguel Angel Perez with us now? Because what happened? I mean, what was said? Did something happen in Irún?
Yes, this Friday a freight train derailed. Apparently they said it was carrying hazardous materials. They sent us these same photographs, and the image of a broken track was also sent to the show's email, which our colleagues will show right now. Libertad Digital has published it, and I think Miguel Angel Perez is already listening to us, Head of Investigation at Libertad Digital.
Good evening.
Hi, Miguel Angel, how are you? Hey, when did you receive these images and the information? What have they told you?
Well, yes, Carmen, we received this information, and obviously the first thing we did was try to verify and confirm that this information was true. And the first thing we did was call the Irún City Council, the Irún local police. And what they do is refer us to DF. We call DF first, and they say they had no record of the information. We tell them that this incident with this derailment of a train that was carrying flammable liquid chemical products happened on Friday night. When they look for it, they say, yes, something shows up here. But it's true that the train didn't tip over. Instead, the train just went off the tracks. It was a derailment, but it didn't cause any major incidents. That's why it hasn't been publicized. Anyway, we talked to Renfe, we called Renfe, and they confirmed to us again that indeed the incident happened that Friday night. It didn't have much impact on the passengers, it only caused slight delays, and by early Saturday morning, normal activity on the tracks had already resumed in some way. We tried to ask and confirm if indeed that train was carrying chemical products, flammable chemicals that could have caused a serious incident. What if this train had overturned? And the truth is, the answer Renfe gave us was, to say the least, curious. Because what they told us is that right now there was a lot of alarmism, and this is a direct quote. They told us there's a lot of alarmism, that too much importance is being given to this. Helplessness.
That old word again, alarmism.
Indeed, it's a recurring thing, right? Also for Minister Oscar Puente, right? Everything is alarmism. I mean, informing citizens has become, well, alarmism. I think people need to have all the information, or citizens need to have the information, and then we'll see if they get alarmed or not. But of course, a train carrying hazardous materials has derailed, even if it didn't tip over or explode. I think this is information that should, of course, be available to the public, and the causes should also be investigated, because the reason they gave us is that it had supposedly broken. The famous wheel assembly, which has now become a trending topic, right? This railway jargon, which refers to, let's say, the wheels of the trains, that one of the wheels had broken. On the other hand, they also tell us it was the track. That is, I think the cause of the incident is not very clear.
There are photos. Guys, we've seen them there. Look, of the track completely broken. Well, just like what happened with Adamas, pretty much. Let's see if we can take a look at it, guys. Camilo, because the photo of the track, if it's all like that, careful. We have to take it with a grain of salt, because this is what's being published. It's a completely fractured track, right?
Yes, exactly, Iker. You can see it clearly in the image. But what they're telling us is that a bogie broke and that's it. Not much more, just between us. That this isn't important at all. And that they had already called some media outlets there in the Basque country and none of them had published it. So, basically what they're telling us is that we shouldn't publish it because it wasn't important at all. Well, if it's a train carrying hazardous materials, flammable liquid, and it could have caused a huge explosion, I think it's important to clarify those images, whether that's a break in the track or if the bogie broke. Mainly because just a few days ago, unfortunately, 46 people died. And I think right now we can't just let any incident slide just because the train didn't explode, right?
Miguel Angel Perez, Libertad Digital, thank you very much for the latest update. My friend, thank you.
Well, that was his appearance. I want to reiterate my gratitude to two people I admire, Iker Jimenez and Carmen Porter, for giving me that great opportunity. And now it's time to keep talking about information, And precisely, we're going to share on screen the latest update we have today about that exclusive you just heard. And it's that derailed train in Irún. I'm going to show you an image first so you can see. Here we have it enlarged, okay? This is one of the tanks the train was carrying. The train that derailed in Irún last Friday at 10:30 at night. Luckily for everyone, it derailed but didn't overturn, so it didn't explode. Thank goodness, because this tank, and keep this infographic in mind because now we're going to give you more information about what it was carrying. Well, this tank by a derailed train in Irún, okay? The derailed train in Irún was carrying a tank with a capacity of 33,000 liters of flammable liquid, just as we published in Medidas Cautelares. The train derailed last Friday at around 10:30 at night near Velasconea, a neighborhood in Irún. Without the Minister of Transport, Oscar Puente, providing any information about it, the train did not overturn or cause serious damage to the tracks. However, it was carrying dangerous flammable goods that could have caused a tragedy. Fortunately, it didn't happen. In Medidas Cautelares, we published this photograph I just showed you of the incident, which shows that the train was carrying a tank. With a capacity, mind you, of 33,000 liters of flammable liquid and a maximum load of 36,000 kilos. If we go back to the photograph, you can see it here. Capacity, 33,000 liters and the maximum load weight, 36,000 kilos. So, watch out if this train that derailed in this neighborhood of Irún had overturned. 33,000 liters of flammable liquids, could be hydrocarbons, could be other substances. That's what this train was carrying, it's no joke. As you can see in this image, the cargo was being transported by the Swiss company Berchi. This company was founded in 1957 by Hans and Rolf Berchi, according to their own website. It has become a global provider of logistics services for the chemical industry, specializing in bulk liquid and dry products. Berchi has established itself, they say, as a leader in intermodal transportation of chemical products by rail, road, and water in Europe. And today, it is a leading global provider of tank transport, ISO, and value-added logistics services for the chemical industry. This includes a global cargo management offering, as well as several Berchi logistics facilities in Europe and Asia, okay? Another important fact, we're talking about a derailed train in Irún, okay? Well, the current Secretary of State for Transport and Sustainable Mobility, and therefore Oscar Puente's number 2 in the Ministry of Transport, Jose Antonio Clavero was coincidentally the mayor of Irún for more than 20 years, after which he was recruited by Oscar Puente to take on this position, a role of special importance in the ministry. It's an important fact, because in the end, in this exclusive, as I've told you and as you've seen in the video from Horizonte with Iker Jimenez and Carmen Porter, they tried, let's say, in some way to hide this incident, or not to publicize, or not to tell the media and the public what had happened. Hey, and what a coincidence that it affects Oscar Puente's Ministry of Transport. And in the municipality of Irún, which is governed, well, it was governed for 20 years by Oscar Puente's number 2. And currently the city council is also governed by the PSOE. It's all just coincidences. Draw your own conclusions. I'm just passing them on to you. It should be noted that after its derailment, neither ADIF nor Renfe provided any information about it after contacting ADIF and Libertad Digital through medidas cautelares. The railway infrastructure administrator explained that a bogie had come off a Renfe freight train. In other words, the wheel of one of the wagons came off the track, causing a minor derailment, which fortunately did not cause the wagon to overturn. After this incident, the other trains were diverted to another track because the derailment occurred in an area where similar routes could be enabled. According to ADIF, the incident was not made public, as is usually done through the InfoADIF communication channel, because the incident did not cause delays to the other passenger trains. However, the track had to be repaired, although traffic returned to normal early Saturday morning. Regarding the lack of publicity about the incident, ADIF responded that since it was a minor incident that did not cause delays on other routes. Normally, these things are not made public, but let's go on, because this is what ADIF said. What did Renfe say? Well then, Renfe referred to the heightened sensitivity after the Adamut tragedy. Renfe tried to downplay what happened, indicating that it was possible to use alternative tracks, although there were slight delays on other trains. In addition, they claimed that after the train accident in Adamut, Cordoba, which left 46 people dead, there is a heightened sensitivity regarding railway incidents, adding that in this specific case it was not even necessary to activate the safety protocol, which involves external agents after a major incident. That is in line with Minister Oscar Puente, who spoke about an emotional overreaction among the train drivers. After the Adamut tragedy, Renfe arrives with its heightened sensitivity. Okay? When asked if the cargo was dangerous and flammable, Renfe sources stated that the type of cargo did not matter, because at no time was it considered that there was an alarm situation like that. They insisted that it should not be created. Attention, this is also very important. Alarmism, meaning that the media do their job and publish information. This is alarmism by publicizing these kinds of incidents. Although when questioned again about the goods and what could have happened if the incident had been more serious, these same sources responded briefly, but it didn't happen. So what does it matter? Nothing happened, so that's it. Let's just move on and talk about something else, because nothing happened. But hey, we need to investigate what happened. We need to find out what happened on the track, whether it was the bogie that broke or if there was something else that needs to be investigated. Not long ago, 46 people died. So, all these matters need to be thoroughly investigated or not. Since nothing happened, since no one died, then it doesn't matter, right? But we do need to investigate it. Well, notice that after this exclusive, we presented on medidas cautelares. The Basque Popular Group, that is the PP of the Basque country, has formally submitted a request for information to the Basque government in the regional parliament, after it was reported by Medidas Cautelares and Libertad Digital. The derailment of a freight train carrying hazardous materials, which occurred on February 6th at Velasco-Velasconia station in Irún. For the Basque PP, what happened is not a minor incident or just a technical failure, but a serious episode that affects railway safety in Euskadi. And surprisingly, it has been met with complete silence from the regional government. The Popular Group denounces a total information blackout by the Basque government, Euskal Trenbide Sarea ETS, and the Department of Sustainable Mobility. Several days have passed since the derailment, and there has not been a single official communication, public appearance, or explanation to the Basque citizens. In the words of Santiago Lopez, a Basque PP parliamentarian and the author of the initiative, we found out through the press, right, through Medidas Cautelares and Libertad Digital and through social media, that a train carrying hazardous goods derailed in Irún, not from the Basque government, not from ETS, not from the Department of Mobility. That's unacceptable in any democracy, especially when safety is at risk. And this is the additional information. What we've also been doing on that Iker Jimenez show, which has been an honor for me. And really thank you all so much because it's reaching so far. Medidas Cautelares exists thanks to your support. To those of you who are there every day, following these videos, this Medidas Cautelares channel, that's it for this edition of Medidas Cautelares. Leave me your opinions, your comments. You know I love to read them. You can also become members, as you know, as chosen members for less than €3 a month, or as supreme members for less than €7 a month. You can also make contributions via Vigium at 627-55-63-70, 627-55, 627-55, 63, 70, 627-55, 63, 70. And just to tell you that we're already on our way to 150,000 subscribers and that we're already crossing a barrier that seemed insurmountable. Now, medidas cautelares. I'm going on television, yours truly, I'm going on television. And honestly, I'm very happy. And I wanted to share it with all of you because that means this channel is succeeding and having more impact than ever. Key, as I always say, is ensuring everyone gets this information since knowledge is power. See you soon.